Reginald F. DWEEBLY thunders on. Mr. Reginald F. DWEEBLY was a teacher. He wasn't very big or very handsome, but he was a nice young man and he loved teaching children. Unfortunately, the children thought he was the most boring teacher on earth. As soon as he began to talk, the children couldn't stop yawning. The mouse snored, and even the glass goldfish sank to the bottom of his bowl and fell asleep. Mr. Reginald F. DWEEBLY could make even the most interesting things, such as science experiments, dinosaurs, or ghost stories so tedious that his class began to think about other things and to fidget. As his voice droned on, they would pass photos of rock stars under the tables and whisper. Some children liked Rick Flick, others preferred Zit Flash, and some thought Gary Vibes was brilliant. But they all agreed that the best of the lot was the great Rab Thunder. His music makes you twitch your toes, wiggle your hips, and click your fingers just to think about it. Mr. Reginald F. DWEEBLY never noticed his class passing photos and fan magazines. He never seemed to spot their badges or the writing on their satchels and pencil cases that said Fabrab Thunders On. He just went on his monotonous way with nobody listening to him. One day, the children had to work on their weather project in groups, but nobody could remember what Mr. DWEEBLY had told them to do. Instead, they talked some more about the fantabulous Rab Thunder. I bet he lives in a great mansion with 50 rooms, said Sarah, and drives a Porsche, said Viv, and a Rolls Royce on Sundays. I bet you he gets that amazing tan in California, and he eats in fantabulous restaurants and orders just what he wants, and has loads of helpings if he wants to. Yeah! Everyone agreed. At the end of the lesson, the class elected Sarah and Viv as president and secretary of the school Rab Thunder fan club because they got tickets for his concert that very evening. Before home time, Mr. Reginald F. DWEEBLY's dreary voice spoiled some good poetry and has the children nodding off while he told them about next week's visit to a fire station. At last, they were free to go home and watch something interesting on television or read an exciting book. Mr. Reginald F. DWEEBLY cycled home to his dull little house, where he sat glumly eating his steamed beans on toast. He wondered why the children didn't seem to enjoy his lessons. After all, he spent so much of his time preparing for them. But tonight was Friday night, and he could think about other things than school. He washed up his one plate, one cup, one fork, one knife, and one spoon. Then he locked up his front door and pedaled on his bicycle, a big suitcase strapped on his back. It was nearly dark by the time he came to the local football stadium, and thousands of people were streaming through the turnstiles. Mr. Reginald F. Dweebly went round the back, changed his bike to a fence, and went in through the players' entrance. By 9 o'clock, Reginald F. Dweebly was sitting in front of a big mirror with light bulbs all around it. He was wearing just his underwear. First, he put on a hairy chest wig and a big gold chain. Next, he put on a purple shirt and skin-tight purple trousers with glittery beads sewn on. He pulled on shoes with platform soles and heels, and a purple jacket with gigantic shoulders and silver flashes all over it. He still looked like Reginald F. Dweebly from the neck up, but not for long. He rubbed in some brown makeup from a pot marked California 10, put on his purple shades, and last of all a wild black wig. When he stood up, he seemed huge. He took one last look at himself in the mirror. Yeah, I feel good. Then he picked up an electric guitar and strode out of the door. The crowd screamed as the announcer yelled into his microphone. And now, fans, top of the bill, then one you've all been waiting for, the one and only, the electrifying rap thunder, and the Thunderbolt. The crowd went crazy. Rap stamped his foot. The drummer took up the beat. The keyboards and backing guitars joined in louder and louder until Rap began to roar out his famous schoolroom rock. The crowd went berserk. Rap! Next, Rap pounded into Meet Me at the bus stop. This was when he did a somersault while still playing the guitar. When he played Lumpy Custard Blues, he split his trousers, and at the end of Listen to When I'm Talking to Ya, fireworks started exploding in his wig. The fans joined in with this and with lots of others they knew by heart. When Rap came to Write Me a Letter, the crowd hushed. He moved to the front of the stage to be near his adoring fans there. In the second row sat Viv and Sarah, mouths open wide, soaking up every sound Rap made. He looked right and down, and they just swooned away. Then Rap strutted into his final song, Home Time, with a last crash on his guitar, a roll of drums, and a whirl of spotlights. The concert was over. The crowd went on cheering for half an hour. Backstage, Rap Thunder took off his shades, his black wig, and his tan makeup. Then he shed his big shoulders, purple shirt, and squint trousers. He took off the chest wig and gold chain and stepped down of his platform shoes. Once again, he was Reginald F. Dweebly, sitting in his underwear. He sat for a long time thinking. On Monday morning, the class came in chatting. Steve and Sarah had already told them all about the concert. Mr. Dweebly taught the register and the children prepares to be bored as usual. But then, Mr. DWEEBLY picked up 2 rulers, did a drum roll on his desktop, and some paint jars, grabbed a guitar from behind the blackboard, plugged it in, and wound out 3 loud chords. Then he sang. Sing it. Now listen to all your children, and listen really good. What I'm gonna tell you must be understood. The children, the white mouse, and even the goldfish sat up and took notice. Mr. DWEEBLY sang on. Today we were learning with a swing. Instead of talking, I'm gonna sing. The Romans had no phones at all. Nothing plugged in a Roman wall. No microwaves or color TVs. No heaters, ovens, or loud CDs. If you were Roman, what did you use to cook your food or hear the news? What did you wear or have to drink? Move to your groups and have a think. The children couldn't believe their ears, but they did go away and think. In the afternoon, Mr. DWEEBLY began science by singing. When we've planted a little black bean, what does it mean to make it grow? The children discussed its sand, but a lot of light will make it sin, and what is two? That's H2O. As they even enjoyed doing their tables when Mr. DWEEBLY told them to clap your hands and stamp your feet. Sing out your answers on the beat. 2 times 5, 2, 10 times 5, and 3 times 2. It's really easy. Try do. At home time, Mr. DWEEBLY sang. We've rocked and rolled together, but now I hear the bell. Pack up your things, stand by your chairs, and I'll bid you a farewell. And as the children filed out of the door, they sang back. It's been a joyous day's work. It's really been a treat. We'll all be back tomorrow to pick up on the beat. Yeah. We'll pick up on the beat. Outside in the streets, the children gathered to discuss the astonishing change in Mr. DWEEBLY. Wow, that was brilliant. Where did he learn to sing and play a guitar like that? Yeah, he's nearly as good as Rob Thunder, suggested one of the boys. Well, he's good. But he's not that good, said Viv loyally. Absolutely nobody is that good, said Sarah. Because Rob Thunder is the very best, and don't you forget it. Mr. Reginald F. DWEEBLY, who was going fast on his bike, overheard them and smiled. The end. Thank you for watching. Please click the subscribe button for more stories.